Tiffany earned a bachelor's degree in communication and is currently pursuing a Master of Divinity degree in seminary, where her faith in God remains the foundation of her leadership, teaching, and business approach. She has also developed her communication and leadership skills through Toastmaster trainings. I'm a Toastmaster trainer too. I attend Toastmasters. How many of you attend Toastmasters? Just a few, okay. Tiffany is a speaker, educator, and social media strategist and business coach who helps entrepreneurs and professionals grow their visibility, confidence, and sales through video marketing and digital communication. She is the founder of Z Expressions, a coaching and marketing company specializing in social media strategy, branding, and business growth. Her leadership experience includes serving at St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce ambassador. She's the founder of the Christian CEO community and has served as a Women's Council of Realtors Port St. Lucie social media manager. She is a graduate of the Women's Council of Realtors, and she is currently serves on the 2026 Social Media and Education Committee for the Women's Council. Tiffany has extensive teaching experience, multiple organizations and audiences, and has taught social media, Canva, and AI classes for the Women's Council of Realtors. She is passionate about equipping others with practical real-world strategies to confidently use social media and video to grow their business and influence. Let's give it up for Tiffany Everett.
Good morning. So good to see each and every one of you today. Thank you, Alpha, for that amazing introduction. Definitely appreciate that. Success is merely a preference. So each and every single one of you have in front of you a presentation that I put together for you that goes with this. There's actually a couple of people in the back that may not have one, so I'm miscounted. But you can use that to kind of follow through. One of the things that Alpha wanted us to make sure is that we had some type of part where there's like a assignment associated with it, so you'll have that opportunity shortly as well. And so you're probably wondering, how did I get here? Who is Tiffany? This is your first time meeting me. So there was a time where I was doing my thing. I was single, and I was just out there. I was getting my college degree and working full time. I was a security guard at one point, and then at another point, I worked at a sub place, and I worked at a front desk agent for the Golden Corral. The Doral Golf Resort and Spa, which is the Marriott. So I was doing all these different things, and that's when everything changed. Everything changed after I got pregnant with my son. See, the doctors told me to abort. People around me told me to abort. They said that there's something wrong with your child's brain and he's probably gonna be different. But I said, if God chose me to be the mom of this baby, then he's gonna be off the chain. He's gonna be something amazing. And so I took the challenge. I said, you know what? I don't care what y'all say. I got a special child, and I'm willing to take on. So that was the moment that I decided to place everything on hold, career, everything, put it on hold. I'm gonna take care of the child that God has blessed me with. And that's what I did for all the way up until today. My son is in college right now. He would have been here, but he's in college right now. And so, it was during that journey, and I told God, I said, Lord, if you just give me one opportunity, just give me one opportunity to help some people, I'm gonna do that. And that day came, and I started a business, and I was helping moms get jobs. I was like a third party, and I said, no, Lord, I wanna go bigger. I know there's something more for me. What do I do? And then I came across 10X, and at the time I was like, what is that? What is he talking about? How do you do this thing? I've never heard anyone talk about these things called massive action or taking action, but how do I do that? How do I be that? And that's what we're gonna talk about, massive action today. And so success, I realize, is not optional. It's our responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure you keep the lights on. It's your responsibility to make sure your kids are fed, you have kids. It's your responsibility to make sure we take care of ourselves. So it's not optional, it's our obligation, it's our responsibility. But there's this thing called excuses. We don't make those, right? Nobody in here make no excuses. Stop playing. Excuses. Let's take a look at this thing called excuses. So when we talk about excuses, there's this thing that actually happens, right? I'm a business owner. So I need to make sales calls, but I didn't make any sales calls. So I didn't make any sales calls. That's the reality of what happened. But then somewhere along the line, there came this execution where I needed to take action or not. But I said, you know what? I don't have time. I don't have time to do it. That was my excuse. I didn't do it. I didn't make the call. I made an excuse because it was comfortable for me, right? And so these excuses are the things, or the stumbling blocks that stop us from being able to execute and take the action that we need to take in our life. Whether you have a business or you don't have a business, we all have to take action at some way, at some time, shape, or form. So there's 4 levels of action. Did you guys know there's so many levels of action? The first level of action, do absolutely nothing. Did you know that's a level of action? Like, I literally didn't know that was a level of action. Do nothing. Do absolutely nothing. That is a level of action. You know what? I know I need to make some calls, but today I'm not gonna do nothing. I've decided to do nothing. But then there's another level of action called retreat. Retreat is when you do action in a reverse, right? I know I'm supposed to make the calls. I know I'm supposed to make the action, but you know what? I'm scared. I'm scared that somebody's gonna say no to me. I'm scared that I'm gonna get rejection. I'm scared, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna move forward. And then there's the normal level of action, where I'm just doing just a little bit to get by. Just a little bit. I'm just gonna show up a little bit today. I'm just gonna post one post all day long today. I'm just gonna do one thing. And then there's massive levels of action. And that's what I learned with Grant Cardone. Is just their massive action. When you look at the billionaires of the world, and you look at the millionaires, you may not like everything that they say, you may not like everything that they do, but guess what? They're taking massive action. They're being seen, and everybody knows exactly who these people are. So one of the things that we do is we operate in fear. Fear is the biggest thing. Anyone have their own acronym for fear? Mine is false evidence appearing real. Anyone else have another one? Fear. Fear is the number one thing that can stop us. However, fear can also be the thing that lets you know you're on the right track. Once upon a time, I was scared to do live streams. I don't know why. I seen this little button on Facebook, it said live, go live, and I'm like, should I do it, should I not? Should I do it, should I not? What are the people gonna say? Maybe they're not gonna like the way I look. Maybe they don't like the way I sound. Maybe nobody wanna even hear what I have to say at all. Fear. They're not gonna like my hairstyle. They're gonna critique me. Fear. But fear is an indicator that you're on the right track. I was on the right track. Because when we're talking about this thing called action, getting on there gives more people an opportunity to know who I am. In podcasting and all these amazing things, it gives people an opportunity. Now, we're gonna get criticized, right? I've had criticism. I've had people come on my videos and says, you're lying, there's no God. Stop talking about that. So it's gonna come when you do put yourself out there, but guess what now? It's a sign of success. You're on the right track. So understand that in this process of taking action, the fear is going to be there. The fear is going to want to stop you. The fear is going to tell you, don't do that. The fear is going to tell you to go into a different direction. The fear tried to stop me. The fear that other people felt like I wasn't qualified to homeschool my son almost stopped me. They told me that he was not going to be able to socialize enough, so he shouldn't be homeschooled. So why? You, the parent, get to decide how much socialization goes on with your child. So that is not true. But they almost made me stop because of their own fears. And people will do that. People will take their fears and try to put them inside of you and stop you because they are afraid. So in between this taking action, you're going to have that fear. It's going to show up. And then you're going to have people that's going to criticize you for the amount of action that you're taking. Now, one of the things that I have in front of you right now, I want to do I'm struggling with this thing here. Keep going in different directions. Now let's do that. Okay. One of the things that, hold on, let me see if I can get this back. Right. Alpha, I need your help. Okay, so I put a little questionnaire in front of you, and in that questionnaire, it's a couple of questions, just to kind of get a level of where you are. So it's only like 10 questions. You can go through those and answer those. Success is often seen as something that would be nice to achieve when it comes to my personal and professional goals. So tell me, how seriously do you approach that? Do you take no action? Do you take a little bit of action? Do you take normal levels of action? Or you take massive action? Number 2, when a project doesn't go as planned, or the market changes unexpectedly, how do you typically respond? Do you take no action, little action, normal actions? Number 3, you are presented with a major growth opportunity. How do you respond to that? 4, many people believe productivity is simply managing time when it comes to your schedule. What is your approach to that? To dominate, you must know that you're omnipresent. You must be out there. You must be connecting with people. What is your current level of output when it comes to dominating, getting out there and being seen and having an omnipresence? 6, when you begin getting that criticism, this is a big one, or negative feedback, how do you respond to that? 7, when it comes to setting your goals, what is your level of action when it comes to that? 8, there's key people in your life that can help you grow and get to another level. How intentional are you at reaching those people that can help you change your life? Number 9, when it comes to reviewing how you operate every single day, taking out unproductive habits, how do you describe your level of execution? And 10, every day requires clear sales and activity goals. How are you operating in those today? And we're going to come back to that, because first we want to go and talk about the different rules of massive action. Everybody got that quiz done? We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it and see how you did. First of all, success, we talked about that, is your what? Duty. Your duty, your obligation. We are required. We have a purpose. Every single one of us have a mission, have goals. It is our obligation. It is our responsibility. And guess what? There is no shortage of it. It's like money. There's no shortage of money. The only shortage is in our mindset and what we think is actually achievable and what we actually think is attainable. But there's no shortage of money. So we have to consume control of everything. What does that mean? You gotta stop making excuses. It's her fault. It's his fault. It's the computer's fault. It ain't nobody's fault but my own. I take full responsibility for that. We blame someone else for everything, and we never take responsibilities for it. So we have to assume control of everything, right? Fear is an indicator of growth. When that fear pops in, just know you're on the right path. You are on the right path. If somebody came to you and said, hey,
I got a speaking engagement and I want you to come on stage. And you start feeling those little butterflies in your stomach. Guess what? You're on the right track. Keep going, right? Keep going. So fear is an indicator that you're in the right, because why, you wanna know why I say that? Because anything outside that is you're comfortable. If you're comfortable, then you're just doing the normal levels of action. You're just doing just enough to get by. And then 5 is time management is a myth. I didn't fully understand that because we're always talking about, we gotta manage my time, I need to manage my time. But how about we change that and say, how can I control my time? How can I take these next 15 minutes and get the most things done without being distracted? Then we are controlling our time. And then 6, be omnipresent. How many of us is on social media? Like, if you're on one social media account, raise your hand. Just you on 5, 10. I'm talking. Like, that's omnipresence. Because guess what? They're free. They're literally free. YouTube is free. Facebook is free. Instagram is free. LinkedIn is free. TikTok is free. They're all free. So why aren't we there? Fear, perhaps. I don't have time. I don't know how to use it. I'm scared. That's too much. Excuses. So we go back to that second slide, right? The anatomy of the excuse, the actual action versus the actual execution of what that is, right? And so here's the mechanics when we talk about in business. In business, if we're focusing on the mechanics of it, this is the business success wheel. And the first thing that starts with a business is our targets. That's not in your pamphlets. Targets. What is the target? How much money do you want to make? The second step is marketing, right? We have to market. We have to tell people who we are. We have to tell people what we do. We have to tell people what type of product that we have. And then that takes us into our leads. Because as we're marketing, we're getting leads. People are raising their hands. They say that, hey, I'm interested in your product. I want to do business with you. That takes us into lead management, which is a customer relations management tool. If you don't know what that is, you should, because that is a place where all your leads sit, and it gives you an opportunity to be able to reach out to your clients. Lead management takes us into the sales cycle. And the sales cycle actually is a whole nother process that we teach in Cardinal University. That takes us to sales management. So now we need to manage those sales that we have. And then finally, we start to scale our business. So this is why we take action. And if we're focusing on the sales cycle, and we understand that we have a target, number 1, and we understand that 2, in order for me to reach that target, guess what I need to do? I need to market my business. Because why? That's the only way that I'm gonna get the leads. It doesn't go in reverse. So that's the reason why we take the action. We take the action because we understand that the reason why I'm in business is because of these things right here, my targets. My targets. Now, let's go back to your test. Where do you stand? You don't have to tell nobody. Just go into where you stand when it comes to your, real quick, we can go back to this one. The levels of action. So when it comes to your diagnosis, where do you stand? You know, do you mostly have predominantly A, where you're not doing anything? Are you predominantly in B? Are you retreating? Are you operating from a posture of not taking enough action? Like, where do you stand in that? We definitely have to, this is what I've learned, because I had a client, she wasn't able to be here, Kim. Kim wanted me to bring up her name today. She said it was okay. So I do this class called On Camera Confidence in Social Media, right? And Kim came, and Kim was afraid to be on face to do her videos. And she wanted to take the class so that she's a real estate agent, and she wanted to be able to do more videos. And so she took the class, and when she was serious about it, she took massive action. She got her a videographer, and she made her a TikTok, and that TikTok got over 7,000 views. She recently did another video yesterday that I caught wind of, and I talked to her about it today. And she said, yeah, the guy wrote the script, and I did the video. Some people here are gonna take action. Some is not gonna take any action. But don't lose track of your targets and your goals. That should motivate you. Motivation is a fleeting thing, as a matter of fact. Like, it comes and it goes. That should be enough to want you to take action. That's massive action that she took. And so that leads us to the 6 steps to initiating that target, that growth. Number 1, write your goals down. Everybody write your goals down every day? Write them down. So the winner of my basket is gonna get a 10X planner. So you can write your goals down every day. Write the goals down every day so you can see them, you can visualize them, you can live them. When you wake up and somebody makes you mad or you get distracted, you can remember what that goal is. And don't get lost in the mechanics. What are the mechanics? Technical stuff. Landing pages, funnels, trying to make the post perfect. Man, you know what? You laughing. I'm dead serious. Making those posts perfect. Like, you do the video and you say, no, that's not good enough. You do it again. No, that's not good enough. You do it again 10 times. Anybody ever had to do a video over and over and over again trying to make the video perfect? Like, you know what it does? It's a distraction. Because all that time, you could have posted the video and moved on with the next thing, which is keeping the eyes on the target, doing the marketing, making the sales calls. Ask yourself, what actions do I need to take today? What can I do right now that can move me that much closer to my targets? And then do it. Do it. Do it immediately. Do the thing immediately. Don't prematurely devalue how much effort. Some people quit before they actually get the breakthrough. So if you don't come here, if you don't take nothing from here today, don't quit. Don't quit on you. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on your goals. And then finally, repeat. Repeat those actions every single day. So we have a quick little assignment, a little audit you can do in your own time. Don't get lost in the mechanics. Don't just sit around planning until you get paralyzed, because when you do all that planning, you get paralyzed and then you take no action. Find your 25 people, 15 minutes, control that time. List the people that's dragging your time down. What are some of the productive habits that you can start doing today? Figure out what your strategies is. Ask yourself, what actions can I take today that's gonna get me just that much closer to my goals? Now, I do have the courses I was mentioning to you. The one course is the on-camera course. For this class here, you have in your pamphlet, there's a little QR code. You can get 25% off of it because you are here if you use the code word HER. Because we are purpose-driven leadership. Purpose-driven leadership. So I thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Alpha, for the stage. Thank you for everything. And that's it.
Everyone, let's give it up for Tiffany Everett. Thank you. Wonderful presentation. Many of us deal with fear, right? At some stage, and even when if it comes to speaking or some point in business, fear can rise up. and her talking about executing and putting things into action, moving forward when you feel that fear is so important. So please take those and implement that into your leadership to conquer fear, overcome fear when it rises up, doing those videos. It happens, right? So next, I'm going to introduce Christine Candiff Lewis, which is a business development manager for H&M Impact Window and Doors. Christine brings a powerful and unique perspective shaped by over 2 decades of experience in the criminal justice field, where she served in roles centered on leadership accountability and service to others. A U.S. Army veteran and accomplished professional, Christine holds a Master of Business Administration and has built her career on a foundation of integrity, communication, and purpose-driven leadership. Today, she continues that mission in the business community, helping lead with excellence, while also actively engaging in community outreach and nonprofit advocacy across the Treasure Coast. Christine is also the co-founder of Christine Squared on the Move, a heart-driven initiative dedicated to bringing awareness to local nonprofits and the incredible work being done within our community. As part of her communication series, Christine will be presenting on the importance of boundaries in leadership. How many of you deal with boundaries in leadership? You need to know how to set those boundaries in leadership, right? In this session, she shares practical insight on how setting healthy boundaries not only protects your time and energy, but strengthens your ability to lead with clarity, confidence, and purpose. So please join me in welcoming Christine Candiff Lewis.
Thank you, I appreciate that. One of the things that I always think about in business and in events like this is, what would I want to see if I was on the other side? So as a business person, if I was the customer, what would I want my experience to be? If I was sitting in your chair right now, what would I want my experience to be? And for me, I'm a realist. I want things that I can use. I don't need to hear some repeated stuff I've heard 100 times on a TED Talk or a YouTube. And for me, I learned something very powerful about 10 years ago. A mentor of mine just saw me struggling, just exhausting myself. And she pulled me aside and she was like, honey, do you know what a boundary is? And I was like, what? Well, no, I have to make sure everybody's okay. I have to make sure that everybody's happy. I have to make sure everything's taken care of. Can anybody relate a little bit? Okay. And she was like, no. Come here. If you don't have a mentor in your life, let me just sidebar that. If you don't have a mentor or somebody speaking into your life that can see things that you cannot see because you are literally in the forest and you just can't see it, but it's right here, I suggest you get one. And this is a great room to start looking for a mentor, because these ladies are here to grow, and those are the type of women you want to surround yourself with. So the importance of boundaries in leadership is my topic today. And let me see if I can move this. Okay, so purpose-driven leadership isn't just about what we say yes to, it's about what we say no to. How many events, how many appointments, how many things do we have going on that we're like, if I could just get through, if I could just get through, if I could just get, can anybody relate? Okay. Well, see, you're in the right spot. You know, no is a full sentence, right? Does everybody know that? N-O period, full sentence, there you go. All right, so when we hear the word boundaries, when you hear the word boundaries, like, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the word boundary? Freedom, okay, I like that. Anybody else? Healthy? Good for you. Some people think, oh, they're just being difficult. Oh, they never help. Oh, they only think of themselves. Selfish. Does anybody think that if you have a boundary, people think you're selfish? But in reality, the boundaries are not, they're not. It's actually, it's respecting me and it's respecting you, right? Who's got a house? Who's got like property, neighbors? You got a boundary, right? I know where Joe's yard ends and I know where mine begins. So when the ball comes over into my yard, they know they come and get it, you get the ball and then you, bye, you got to go, right? Boundaries are a good thing. So what are boundaries? Boundaries pretty much are the clear expectations on how we give our time, energy, and resources. Basically, they're saying what you can and can't do. So I'm gonna give you an example. I had someone, you know that Saturday, it's like right after Christmas, but you're still on Christmas break, it's not quite New Year's. Somebody called me at like 10:30 in the morning trying to sell me something or try to get me to sponsor something. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, do you know it's Saturday morning? Not only is it Saturday morning, it's literally Christmas break. We're not doing this right now. She's like, oh, okay. What did I do? I clearly communicated the boundary, right? Because this is the thing, you can make boundary if you keep it in your head, how is anybody gonna know? Right? All right, so basically, communication is important when it comes to setting boundaries. Steps to getting there. So you wanna evaluate. You do have some handouts if you kind of wanna follow along. The thing about boundaries is, first of all, you gotta figure out, like, where are the places in your life, personal and professional, what matters the most? Your values, your peace, your time, your energy, your overall well-being. So you have to evaluate where you feel overwhelmed. Is there a specific area of your life that you feel overwhelmed? Is it when you walk through your front door and you got 5 kids coming to bite your ankles asking what's for dinner? Is it when you go to the office and you know you took 2 days off and the work never stopped and the pile is 3 feet high? What do you automatically dread before you actually get there? Does anybody have anything? Anybody? Am I in the right room? Okay. So you have to evaluate, you have to identify what that is. Because I will tell you, boundaries, they can be seasonal, okay? So say, for example, you're starting a business. You're gonna be in hustle mode. You're probably gonna work 24/7. That's expected because that's a season. But guess what? Once you've established that, once people know who you are, once you've kind of grounded yourself, rooted yourself, now you can kind of like do that maintenance mode, right? So they can be seasonal. Then once you determine what your boundaries are, then you have to communicate them clearly, okay? And then, okay, so after I tell you what my boundary is, and then the next time you try to try that boundary, if I go, oh well, okay, yeah, no, maybe this time. What does that do? That erased everything you did, okay? So what happens when the lady calls me back on a Saturday? Let's just say she's audacious, okay? She just really got bold and wanted to call again on a Saturday during the holiday, and I'm gonna be like, ma'am, we're not doing this now. And I believe I relayed that to you the last time we spoke. I would be happy to speak to you on the next business day in the office at 9:30. Do you have my office phone number? Great. Okay, thanks. Bye. Not rude, but I'm sticking to what I said, because if I don't do that, okay, how many parents in here? How many parents? Okay, how many say, oh, no phone for 2 weeks, or no game for 2 weeks, no, you done showed out, you're not getting that, and then how many of y'all give it back before 2 weeks? Boom, you've proven my point. We must, in all areas, personal, professional, listen, because then what happens now is you're telling the person, I really don't mean what I say. You can just run over me like a train track. I don't think so. Okay, so I get a little emotional when I talk about this subject because, listen, I don't know if y'all have been out in these streets, but the audacity is at an all-time high. If you don't have boundaries, I I just don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you're making it. But hang in there, because we're gonna go over some practical ways to do it. So boundaries are not selfish. They are stewardship, okay? Your time, just like Tiffany was talking about, you have a responsibility. The time we have on this planet, it is short, okay? Like my squared calls it, your dash. You are not promised. You only have so much time. You have to treat that as a gift, okay? So I'm not gonna be out there letting people run over my time and use and abuse it like it's not precious, because it is. So why boundaries matter in leadership? Okay, so even if you manage something, even if you're not the, big boss applesauce, just say you're the manager, even running your own household, okay, what happens when we overcommit, overextend, overgive? What happens? You're done. And you know what, I gotta tell you, as a Gen X in perimenopause, I'm already at risk for being on the 5 o'clock news on Watertown. I'm already at risk. So why put myself in a position to add to that risk factor, okay? At the end of the day, like, it's just kind of boundaries. Look at it like your preventive maintenance, okay? You take your vehicle in, you get your oil changed, right? So the car engine don't explode, okay? If I constantly maintain my boundaries, then when the 100th person that tries me and runs over me, I don't snap completely and go to jail. Do you see the difference? You cannot wait until it's just, a 4-alarm fire to say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Don't do that, it's not a good look. So just preventive maintenance. You see, boundaries, it's a beautiful thing when we do it the right way. Now, without boundaries, we lose our focus, we dilute our impact, and we say yes to everything and become effective at nothing. Now, the reason why this is so important is because I used to feel like I had to be everywhere all the time. And what I noticed is sometimes I was showing up not in the best mood. I had a face, the RBF. Okay, I had a face, I was tired, I was sweating, I was having all the things. And I thought, why am I doing this to myself? If I do less, but do it better and more effective, that just makes more sense. So I was breaking my own boundaries by pushing myself past where I could be effective. So when you push yourself past your effectiveness, now you become ineffective. Does it make sense? I just want to know if anybody knows what I'm talking about here, because we will think it and won't say it. And this is a room where we're going to say it today. We're going to say it. We're going to say it. So with boundaries, we protect our mission. We lead with clarity. We create sustainability, not exhaustion. Like I said, it's preventive maintenance. We just can keep going. Now, don't get me wrong. Somebody's going to keep repeatedly trying your boundaries. We'll get to how to deal with that shortly. But the truth is, you've heard the saying so many times, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay. 3 types of boundaries every leader needs. And there again, these are just guidelines. You know yourself, you know your life, you know your details, you know what you got going on. So, time, protect your schedule. What aligns with your purpose? Am I just going because everybody expects me to go? Am I just doing it because everybody expects me to do it? Sometimes you can just support them, like, share, follow on social media, and keep it moving. If you don't have it to give, and if it doesn't align with what you have going on, if it jams your day up trying to do all the things, then you might want to reevaluate if that's where you want to spend your time. Emotional. You care deeply, but you can't carry everything. Listen, you cannot be people's everything. I don't care who it is. Your husband, your kids, your employers, your employees, your friends, your neighbor, your dog, your cat. You can't do it all. We weren't built for that. So when we have this expectancy of ourselves to, well, I care so much, you can care. That doesn't mean you have to throw yourself in the fire. So you can be supporting without absorbing everything. Okay, so you can also just be encouraging. You know what, I think that's great. I love that you're doing that thing. I won't be able to make it, but I definitely will share that information to somebody that's interested in going. Capacity, knowing your limits, knowing when good opportunities are not your assignment. Okay, sometimes we're like, oh wow, if I don't jump on this now, I'm never gonna get another chance. You may not be in a position to do whatever that is right now. So why would you overextend yourself and put that type of pressure on yourself to burn yourself out unnecessarily just because, oh, well, if I don't act fast, I would caution people when people try to rush you into anything, well, if you gotta do that, sign that within the next 24 hours. Listen, I feel like if it's for me, it's not going anywhere. That's my personal belief. When I take a pause and step back, usually the reason people are rushing me to make a decision is because there's something in the fine print I haven't seen yet. I'm not saying everything's that way, but if you can, take your time. Take your time and know what you're getting into. If somebody asks you to come on a leadership board or a nonprofit board, or, oh, we'd love for you to serve in this capacity, that capacity, ask, what are the expectations? How much time are you expecting me to put into this? I need to know exactly what you want out of this position before I accept. You know, because a lot of times we get all motivated, like we're on the new car floor, and we're like, yeah, I want to do that. That's great. And then every month when you're paying that note, you're like, this costs too much. Maybe I should have took my time. It's not as fancy as I thought. Boundaries, purpose, and alignment. Sometimes we got to go back to, if my guts feel a little twinge, if something don't feel right, if it goes against what my beliefs are, I just can't. I can't. Not gonna do that. And that's okay. Are you looking at your schedule going, oh, there's a whole day where I don't have anything scheduled. Let me go ahead and jam that puppy up. Maybe that might be your catch-up day. Maybe you might take a nap. Maybe you might get refreshed. Maybe you might reach out and have a cup of coffee casually. You don't have to be busy all the time. Busy does not mean productive. The hard truth about boundaries, you're gonna piss some people off, especially people that knew you before you had boundaries, because they'll be like, well, wait a minute. You said yes to every other thing, now all of a sudden you said no? And guess what you say? Yes, that's correct. But you know what is really cool? When you meet new people, they didn't know the old you. So you can start those new boundaries right away and they don't know the difference. So there's a spark of hope there. Okay, so practical steps. Practical steps, pause before saying yes. We talked about that. Give your permission to say, let me get back to you. Communicate clearly and kindly and stay consistent. So purpose-driven leadership isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters, okay? So boundaries actually, believe it or not, they help you. Tiffany was talking about fear. You know, when we do not have fear, we have faith, because those are two opposite things and they cannot exist in the same place. And so when you believe that you're doing what you're purposed to do, you just do it. And when you feel uncomfortable, like, that's not my calling, it's okay to step back and really look at that thing and say, do I need to proceed or not? Okay, here we go. Told you it was gonna get a little grimy. We're gonna talk about it just for a brief moment. We gotta touch on it. You gotta know the dangers that are out there. You know, you tell your kids stranger danger. Well, guess what? Avoid the boundary bullies. They're out here. They're like sharks. They don't want your boundaries. They don't want you to have boundaries. They want to get in there. They want to sell you the thing. They want you to just say yes, 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 yes. But you got to ask yourself, what's that even really about? Boundary bullies are individuals who repeatedly push past your limits, ignore your needs, manipulate your emotions, or pressure you into saying yes for their own benefit. Healthy leadership requires discernment. Not every request deserves access to you just because someone asked. Did you know that? I had to learn that. That is powerful. Just because you want me to do something doesn't mean I have to do it. Okay? And people that truly respect you, respect your boundaries, even though they don't understand them necessarily, but they know you and they trust you. So they're like, oh, if that's your boundary, you know what? Okay, I respect that. And you know what? We can also reinforce that to other people. If we see somebody trying to set a boundary, we can say, you know what? Good for you, Ange. Good for you. You were doing too much. Good for you. You know, good for you, Amber. You took a step back and you took care of yourself. Home comes first. Good for you. Sometimes we need to give each other that praise and that encouragement to hold those boundaries, because listen, if we don't have them and then we're starting to practice them, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, a little awkward, right? Because people are expecting us to always say yes. And so when we say no, it's awkward, right? You'll get over the awkwardness. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. But the thing that you really need to look out for is what about you makes those people drawn to you. See, it all comes back to the common denominator, right? Because after a while, what you'll notice when you're consistent with your boundaries, boundary bullies leave you alone. But if they're targeting you, you may want to check yourself. Just saying. Alrighty, so when you practice healthy boundaries, you demonstrate what strong, effective leadership looks like to those around you. So, I've been in several groups where I have said to people, they're like, oh, you're not doing that. I go, no, I'm gonna spend time with my husband. No, I've done too much already this week. And they're like, that is so true. Yeah, I'm tired too. It's almost like you give people permission to be like, yeah, I totally feel that. You know, somebody's gotta be the first to say it. Be the volunteer. You can do it. I trust you. Practical application. Okay, so in your folder, you've got some colorful papers. We're gonna go ahead and just go through a couple of questions. So we wanna assess, we're doing a self-reflection now. This is our little activity. We're gonna do a self-reflection about recognizing unhealthy boundary-pushing behaviors in both your personal and professional life. So have you ever, we're just gonna do a show of hands. Have you ever felt emotionally exhausted because someone constantly expected access to your time or energy? Do certain people only seem supportive when you're saying yes to them? Have you confused being needed with being valued? Are there people in your life who benefit from your lack of boundaries? How often do you say yes to simply avoid disappointing someone? Amen. Have you ever noticed that some people react negatively the moment you establish a healthy limit? Are you helping others grow or unintentionally enabling unhealthy behavior? What relationships in your life feel one-sided? This is one that's really, really important. You know, I had a best friend. I called her my best friend. She was just the person I knew for 15 years straight. This was back in the day, back in the day. And I kept calling her my best friend because I knew her the longest, right? And people were like, how's she your best friend? You done moved 17 times and she ain't been there to one. Every time you're jacked up and just need like some help, we never see her. And I had to like, dang, that's right. Like, what am I thinking? And I think sometimes We just don't question if you've known somebody for a long time, if they've always been that way, what's going on. We just don't question it, right? And so maybe it's time to start doing that. Have you ever been carrying a responsibility that were never truly yours to carry? Are you teaching people to respect your boundaries? Are you teaching them, don't listen to you. You didn't really mean it. You just said that. Do you feel guilt when prioritizing your own well-being? Go get your toes done, girls. Just do it. Love on yourself. I give you permission. Okay, well, what happens if you stop over-explaining your boundaries? You know, we, as women especially, we tend to want to explain everything. No. Well, why can't you? I just can't. Well, were you gonna? No. Well, what happened? Nothing. You can keep it short. You don't owe anyone an explanation. I mean, unless you're subpoenaed in court, that's another story. So, who in your life honors your peace and who constantly disrupts it? Are you leading from wisdom or from guilt and obligation? And what could improve in your life if you stopped allowing manipulation to dictate your decisions? I will tell you, I'm going to close with this one brief story. The last job that I had a boss who had a small agency, and she was like, whenever anyone calls 24/7, we're gonna do what they ask because we need to make sure we don't lose business. It was just this fear, like we can't say no, we can't say no. I told her, I said, listen, I'm 1099. I'm gonna say no. There's gonna be times I'm gonna say no. So she just could not understand. She's like, well, they're not gonna call us next time they need us. I go, I'm not worried about that. They'll either call or they won't. And let me just tell you, what I started doing is, instead of saying no, I tripled my prices on the weekends or after dark. And guess what? If they really wanted me to do it, they were paying the I really wanted to say no fee. You may think that, hey, you may use that in what you do. Yeah, I'll do it, but it'll be triple or quadruple, or you could just wait until I can do it, right? So pretty much what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take a look at these questions. We're gonna ask ourselves, are we practicing good boundaries? And really, I mean, I don't know that you can effectively see where you may or may not fall short. This is where you want to get your good girlfriend in, or somebody that's close enough to you that you know that they're going to tell you the truth in love. Because let's just be real. We don't need any more yes people in our life, right? We need somebody that's going to tell us the truth so that we can grow and not stay complacent. All right, so thank you so much. I appreciate you going on this boundary journey with me. And I'm looking forward to, when I see you in the street now, I'm gonna ask you what your new boundary is. I want everybody to leave here establishing one new boundary. I don't care if it's, I don't care what it is. Just do it. Even a baby boundary. Okay, so now we're gonna change lanes actually. We're gonna do a little throwback to back in the days. So let's take a quick trip down memory lane. What are some old sayings that you grew up hearing in your home or from your parents or your grandparents? Remember, waste not, want not. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm gonna pass this mic around and I want everybody to give me one. You know you got one. So I'm gonna start with you. Yes. Get ready.
Yeah, you can kind of aim at that people.
So I'll go first. So my auntie used to say, when we were growing up, the higher a monkey climbs a tree, the more you see its, she'd say the A word, but I'll say behind. The higher a monkey climbs a tree, the more you see it's behind. And what does that mean? That means that when someone shows you who they are, you believe them. So that's my saying.
My mom would always say, "Carpe diem, seize the day." So always move forward and have a positive outlook on everything.
My grandfather used to say it was a hair past a freckle, and that was his time management. A hair past a freckle.
A hair past the freckle.
Yep, that's how he managed his time.
My mother always told me, if you want to give, always give and never expect anything in return.
Yes.
My dad mixed things up. So he would say, I had champagne taste and a hamburger wallet.
My dad used to always say, "Don't worry, I'm gonna give you enough rope to hang yourself."
Both parents, whatever you give your best.
I know. The one I say to my kids all the time is pride comes before a fall, so stay humble.
My grandma used to always say you can't learn anything if you don't shut up and listen. So I tell that one to my kid all the time now.
My grandmother used to tell me all the time, "You decide the date that you have." So I like to live by that. My dad used to say, "I may have been born at night, but I was not born last night."
I don't have a saying, I know a word. My family likes to use the word should, so which implies a little bit of guilt. So try to get the boundary around that. So yeah, we don't need to should do anything. We do it if we want, like you're saying. So.
Don't should all over yourself, it's messy.
My parents used to say high expectations produce false hope. Because so many times we expect things from others and we're disappointed. But I look at this higher ground. How many times do we expect things from our Heavenly Father, but we are able to get it?
My mother used to always say, if you don't have anything good to say about someone, don't say nothing at all.
Treat others the way that you would like to be treated.
Why don't you took the words right out of my mouth? Or wait till your father gets home.
All right, I'm a twofer here. So my dad would always say, your ass is grass and I'm the lawnmower. And that was usually because I wasn't home on time. In my house, I tell my kids, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yes.
So my mom always said that I had to be grateful with what I already had, which taught me gratefulness, but also made me guilt for wanting more than what I had.
So my parents used to always say, I don't care, I don't care what you do when you get older, if you become a doctor or a lawyer, that's okay, if you don't, you don't. So we grew up, do your best, you can be the best.
My parents was always, I can give you something to cry about, so make sure it's worth it.
Mine's is going to be, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink.
Time flies, so stay young.
Are you done, Miss Christine? Okay, let's give a hand. You touched on some really good points. Yes. And I would say, you know, recently my new boundary is I'll get back to you. Let me get back to you. Those simple words, let me get back to you, takes the pressure off of saying yes to anything right off the bat, because people ask you and they're looking for a response. So let me get back to you and then get back to them. Don't leave them hanging, don't ghost them, right? Well, good morning. Y'all enjoying yourself so far? Y'all have some takeaways? Very good. Well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna do something a little different as I begin my session. So before we get started, I wanted to open up with some positive affirmations. I typically do this in the beginning, but we kind of jump right in. And so I want you to close all those tabs in your head. You know, we got all those tabs that are open, thinking about what you need to do when you leave here, thinking about the laundry, your next appointment. We're gonna close all those tabs in our heads, right? And I want you to just take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to close your eyes, and I'm just gonna share these affirmations, and when I say them, embrace them, okay? So I am created with intention, and my life carries meaning. My purpose unfolds with clarity as I take each step in faith. I walk boldly in the assignments that are meant for me. I attract opportunities that are connected to my purpose. I am equipped, empowered, and prepared for every season that I enter. My gifts, my talents, my education, and experiences make room for me and open doors I am ready to walk through. I release fear and embrace purpose with confidence. I am guided, supported, and strengthened as I pursue what matters. I lead with integrity, knowing my influence shapes lives and legacies. Each decision I make aligns with vision, values, and divine direction. I cultivate growth in others as I continue to grow in purpose myself. My leadership reflects courage, compassion, and conviction. I am a catalyst for transformation, inspiring excellence wherever I go. And lastly, I am becoming everything I was created to be. So good morning. I'm gonna share with you my talking points for this morning. We're gonna talk about purpose-led leadership, confronting awareness, intentionality, being intentional about raising your standards, and my favorite, passing the baton. Ladies, you have notebooks and a pen in your little gift bags if you wanted to take notes. I'm sorry I didn't mention that in the beginning, but you do have a notepad in your book with Post-its and little things you can write on. So a little bit about myself. I am the owner of Blended Business Services, where I provide workshops, trainings, and public speaking services. I'm also the co-owner of Aboutable Roofing and Construction. I hold a master's degree in business administration. I'm a published author. I'm a mother, a track and field mom, that is. I'm a wife. I'm passionate about ministry, and I wear many hats. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. Any people from New York in the house, in the building? Just a few? Okay. Between the ages of 13 and 22, my life consisted of drugs, alcohol, suicidal thoughts, drug trafficking, prostitution, just a spiraling road of hopelessness. But it was my journey through faith, education, and my community that set me on a course to where I am right now, in this current moment in life called now. How many of you appreciate your now moment? It doesn't matter like what happened years ago, months ago, weeks ago, days, minutes, or even 5 seconds. What counts is that it's your current state of mind and the current posture of your heart that defines who you are right now, right? Because as a woman thinks, so is she. It's about how you see yourself today, your perspective of yourself now. It's important to understand where we're going as we fix our eyes and our gaze on success and legacy, but it's so necessary and important not to forget where we came from. because that is what builds character. So you can pull on those experiences and let them be a stepping stool for success. I'm very happy to be here with you today and share a few nuggets of wisdom and intentional practices that's going to motivate you to thrive as it relates to leadership and purpose. To thrive. The definition of to thrive means to grow or to develop well, vigorously, with enthusiasm, to prosper or to flourish. In some shape, form, or fashion, everyone in this building is a leader. Whether you're leading in your household, whether you're leading in your communities, whether you're leading in your churches, your gyms, your schools, your organization that you work for, whether you're the owner of a business, everyone is leading in some shape, form, or fashion. And in order to lead well, you need to develop well. Well, how do you develop well as professionals? Is it in rooms like this? Is it having a mentor, having someone to pour into you? Is it attending trainings? See, there are some things that you can learn through books and courses, but then there are certain things that you can only catch by being in specific environments, where you can see the strengths and the weaknesses of leaders. You can see the endurance. You can see how leaders carry themselves, positioning yourself. So it's being intentional about sitting in the right spaces to invest into yourself. It's moving in the direction of your vision. And as you move, you develop. You have to have a vision, of course. You have to have a goal, of course, that you're focusing on. And as you move, you develop. So my first question for you all is, where and how do you lead? Can I get a couple of volunteers? Where and how do you lead? Can I get the mic? Where's the mic? Oh, I have the mic. Jay, here. I want to hear some, go ahead. Where and how do you lead? Can I get a couple of volunteers? I want to know, where and how do you lead? Is it an organization? Is it working for someone else? Is it in your homes? Where and how do you lead? I thought I'd get a lot of participation. Amber, and then Tara.
So I don't like my back to everybody. Hi. So I am actually a leader in a networking group called Go Getter Girls. And the way I lead is I want to make an impact in women's lives, because as women, we have a lot of criticism, such as Tiffany and Christine were going over. And I don't want that for my group. I want my group of women to feel impacted, uplifted, and I just want to see them grow. It's not about my growth, it's about their growth. So I lead to make sure that the people that are in my group are growing within their business and their personal life.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I was going to talk about home. I lead my kids, and I lead through example, so they see how I act and what I do. In return, they can follow my lead.
Anyone else? That's it? Okay. Oh.
I'll stand up. Good morning, everyone. My name is Roxy. I'm the CEO and founder of CareBag. And what I do by leading, I have a team. And my mantra for me personally is, when myself and my team goes out, you must not know who I am. That is how I lead. Because if you can tell who I am, then that means I am not doing a good job, because we work together. So that's how I lead.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, ladies. So everything I'm about to share with you is all centered around one word: purpose. When you can't identify your reason for being, purpose has a way of finding you, right? It's that feeling you get when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It feels right. It feels good. It's full of goodness. It's not about being busy. It's about being fruitful and purposeful. It's always there knocking on the doorpost of your heart saying, choose me because I was what you were created to do. Purpose can be a little annoying too, right? Because it's always in the back of your mind reminding you, hey, you need to start that business. You need to write that book. You need to be home with your kids. You need to volunteer or serve over here. Purpose is always connected to an audience of people. Purpose, as we all know, is going to look different for all of our lives though, right? Because we're all in different lanes. But when you find your purpose, you find your lane. And when you find your lane, your focus shifts. So I want you to just think about that. Being in your own lane. Sometimes I have to, it's funny how we're the first partaker of the messages that we share, right? And so this is so relevant because so much is going on. Again, you can go on social media and see everybody's doing something, there's so much going on. And I've just been saying to myself, nope, that's not my lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane, I'm gonna stay focused. And when I'm focused on my purpose, I'm not distracted. I don't feel like I need to do all of these different things. I'm focused. When you think about successful athletes who run track, they tend to focus on what's in front of them because it helps them with key aspects of their performance. It increases their speed, right? When athletes are running and they're only focused on what's in front of them. So by narrowing your visual focus, you can be more efficient and less distracted by your environment and circumstances. And we become more focused on the task that is at hand. You want to be focused. So just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. I have to tell myself that because I feel like sometimes I'm the jack of all trades and the master of none. Like I can do a lot of different things. So say it with me. Just because I can do something doesn't mean that I should. Yes. It's so important. Because you want to be mindful about where your time and your energy is spent. You want to be intentional about what you invest your time in and that it is coupled with purpose. You don't want to do stuff just to be doing stuff. You want to be intentional about pursuing purpose. What is purposeful? So I have a worksheet in your folder. It's on the other side of my face. And so the first question is, we're going to do a purpose and intentionality check-in, okay? Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists, okay? So the question I want you to answer is, my purpose in this season is, and I want you to fill in that blank. And if you don't have one, tell me what you would like it to be. Give you about 1 minute to do that. $20 seconds. So again, when you narrow your visual focus, you are less distracted by your environment and your circumstances. Just as identifying your purpose is essential, recognizing your distractions is equally important so that they don't hinder your growth. When you think about distractions, what comes to mind? Like, as we move forward in our purpose, as we move forward in our day-to-day business duties or whatever that looks like, there are distractions. Sometimes it's those phone notifications, sometimes it's social media scrolling, sometimes it's email, it's constant messaging, multitasking, too many tabs are open in my head, personal stressors and responsibilities. What is your distractions? What pulls you off of your purpose? When and why does it show up? What triggers you when you feel so distracted? And what is it costing you? Time, peace, money, relationships? Or what are you avoiding? Is it fear, pain, decision-making, or responsibilities? Distractions are those little foxes, right? Those little things that keep us from growing and developing well. If you could think of one distraction that you're currently dealing with, what would you say that is? It's a current distraction that you're dealing with. You have one, Ms. Roxy?
I would say right now, family.
Family?
Do you want me to?
Just a little, maybe.
I've become a caregiver to my sister-in-law, so that has taken up a lot of my time now. Appointments, doctors, chemo, and that is, it's not a bad distraction, but it is a distraction.
It's a distraction. Anyone else? Jeremiah, you're fired.
As good as social media is, it can also be a distraction because then you start scrolling and scrolling and lose track of time.
Social media. I'm coming back to you, Amber.
I love my babies, but my babies. I'm the default parent, so it's mommy this, mommy that, all day, every day.
The kids. The kids.
Dishes. When you're in that kitchen baking all day, every day, them dishes distract the shit out of you because you just want to wash them. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Mine is like 10-month-old puppy. I have to make sure I get back home so he doesn't poop in his kennel.
Any Amber had her hand up. Kelly, let's go to Kelly. Kelly.
I was gonna finish in the back. Mine would be my health right now. So doctor's appointments and just the constant having to either click a monitor or watch what I'm eating.
Yeah.
I am my own distraction. When I work from home, I'm like a squirrel. I could concentrate on something, but if I walk out the room, like she says, if my dishes are in the, I gotta wash the dishes. But I forgot I was in my office doing something. So I am my own distraction. I have to get out of the house. So thank you for getting me out of the house this morning.
How many of you have squirrel moments? Especially as we're getting older. Why did I go into the pantry again?
I was going to back up on that. What you had said, it's the lack of boundaries that cause stress that then cause health, and you're just trying to manage your health on the back burner, and that creates chaos and distraction. And that's one of the biggest things I'm personally working on right now, and Christine's helping.
So my purpose is working and my mothering distracts from my working, and my working distracts from my mothering. So we're constantly in a fight.
She had mentioned herself, and I was going there too. I am my own distraction. I think a lot of fear too that comes in and tries to play a part in you moving forward and being that and taking that massive action. A lot of traumas of people telling you can't. You sometimes find yourself falling back in that space of, am I really good enough to really master this? So I would say myself, because again, I do have that option to pull myself out of that, but sometimes you find yourself right back in that space.
Yeah.
Like today, taking the mic and talking, right? I'm like, oh shit. Me
But
first.
you're doing it.
Right.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. What you fail to confront will continuously resurface and find its way as a stumbling block to your success and purpose. I'll say it again. What you fail to confront will continuously surface and find its way as a stumbling block to your success and purpose. I love awareness. That's me and my girlfriends. Like, we always talk like, yes, we're aware. Like, we just want to be aware. Like, awareness is so valuable because it says, I see you. I'm not ignorant to where I'm currently am. I see you. I'm not going to stay here for long. I'm coming out of this place. Awareness says, there's better. There's more. So if you're not aware of something, sometimes it's just the simplicity of speaking about something. I've had conversations with my friend Monique, and I've said, girl, just because we spoke about it, now I'm going to implement that. Sometimes it's the simplicity of just speaking about something and becoming aware of something, just like we all did. You're aware of your distractions, now what are you going to do about it? Right? Because we do have power and authority over how our day goes. So what are you going to do about your distractions? So your next question on your worksheet is about confronting what keeps resurfacing, right? What keeps showing up in your life that you keep managing but not confronting? Where you lower your standards as a leader? Is it people pleasing? Procrastination? Poor time management, always being late? Poor organizational skills? Not showing up? Integrity? Stretching yourself too thin? Saying yes to everything when you need to say no? What are you managing that you need to confront? Think about that, and I'll give you about a minute and a half to answer. That is the question on your worksheet. Thirty more seconds. All right, we're gonna continue. As I watch my son race, my son's in track and field. This is like a whole new experience. It's like we eat, sleep, drink, track, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, sometimes a 14-hour day. Am I lying, Jasmine? Even that? They're my co-track moms, where we watch our kids run track together. So those boundaries are really important because sometimes I need to say no because I'm just stretched and I'm tired. So, but anyway, it's not about when you think about when I think about my son racing. As an athlete, it's not about coming in first place all the time, right? It's about, although that feels good when he comes in first place, like I want my kids to come in first place, but it's about beating your personal record. So it's about beating, it's really about being faster than you were the last time you raced, right? And so often we fall into this trap of comparison, where we're looking at what everyone else is doing, right? And not giving ourselves credit for what we did better this month than we did last month. So I want to encourage you to celebrate those small victories and having an expectation to do better. So I want you to raise your standards like right now. Think about something that you could do now, something that you can increase, something that you could do better, something that you can invest more time in, something that you need to say no to, something that you might need to say yes to. Think about those things. Because having good leadership qualities gives you a better quality of life. I'll say it again, having good leadership qualities allows you to have a better quality of life. So my next question on my sheet is basically saying I'm not settling in this area anymore, whether it's time management, relationships, health, having a good mindset, finances, leadership, faith, whatever that looks like for you. So my new standard sounds like this. I am the kind of leader who, and I want you to fill in that blank. You're raising the standard now. So when you leave out of here, this paper is holding you accountable. I am the kind of leader who, fill in the blank. Sorry, I pulled you up too early. $20 more seconds and we'll move on. So this is a true story. Picture this. The Bronx, New York, it was a race day. And I was on the track and field team called the Bronx Express, right? I was running a 4x1 relay. This is a true story. And as a young girl was running towards me to hand me a baton, I stood there with expectation, but there was one problem. I didn't move. So what do you think happened? I forgot. I did forget, I forgot to run, but what else do you think happened? I froze. I did lose, yeah. She ran right into me and I fell and I scraped my knees, right? I was about 11 or 12, so I probably was crying and embarrassed. But as she was running towards me, I'm supposed to do what? Start running so that she could pass me the baton. The point is that there was no forward movement, right? So this is a real video of me a couple of weeks ago doing a relay. This is a young woman passing me the baton and I'm in the red shirt. No judgment. So that's me. I'm running, and I have that baton in my hand, and my goal is to pass it to the person that's in front of me. So as we journey through life, whether you're moving forward with intention or you're stumbling forward, there needs to be forward movement. You can't be stagnated. There has to be some kind of forward movement. Coming out of a place of stagnation, there needs to be an expectation to receive something and also a desire to also pass it along. It's our responsibility to be aware and to position ourselves to receive. Which brings me to my next moment. I attended, this is Gina. She's an awesome woman. And I attended a networking meeting about a month ago, and she was the speaker. And when I was at this meeting, she talked about goal setting and time management. And she simply pulled out her planner and showed that all of her days were filled in. And I teach on goal setting, and I was like, you know, sometimes we teach on stuff and we don't practice it. You know, we need to practice what we preach. And so I was like, man, I'm always telling my friend, you need a planner. You need to write your stuff down. And the month of April was so packed for me. I had so much on my schedule. And I was like, it's all up here and I need to get it down. So I just saw her, it was a simple glimpse of her showing me her calendar that I went home that day and I was like, I'm gonna write everything down on my calendar. And then I looked at it and it was like, voila. The burden of the month of April lifted, all because I implemented something that I saw. And as I was preparing for this, one of my exercises that I'm going to have you do in a moment is pour. And pour is when you find someone to pour into you. When you find someone that has the knowledge or expertise or experience that you need, and you say, hey, can I sit with you for 30 minutes to an hour, and can you just pour into me? I need that. And so I scheduled a meeting with her. We met at a local Starbucks, and she poured into me for about an hour and a half. And when I left out of there, I had clarity, I had direction, I had peace. I was no longer feeling overwhelmed. I was preparing for this, and I was like, there's certain things I need to be in place. And she helped me to gather my thoughts. Sometimes things are right in front of you, resources, people, and information that's right in front of you that we need to access, and we don't. And it's this simple question of saying, hey, can you pour into me? So Gina, I just wanted you to share very briefly about what it is that you offer, because I go to her for consultation so that she can pour into me as a mentor and provide information that helps me better lead. So I just wanted you to briefly share for about a minute or two.
My name is Gina B. McCown. I'm an author, speaker, and I'm a leadership expert. I've been leading teams for nearly 40 years, and yes, I do have a good skincare routine. I am a servant leader at heart, and I have, from the very beginning, believed in the first person that I have to lead well as I have to lead myself. I cannot expect others to lead in my same capacity or to follow my instruction if I am not setting that example myself. So I lead myself well so that I can serve others well. Because I want everyone in this room to understand you are a leader. You're just leading different people than I am. You're leading a home, you're leading a family, you're leading a business, you're leading a mentorship, you're leading an organization, you're leading a best friend, or you're simply just leading yourself to get through today. You have businesses, you have things that want to fill your schedule. It seems overwhelming. There's a lot going on. Everybody's pulling from us. We spoke of boundaries today. We can rein those things in if you have somebody who can help you find that clarity pathway. And we do that by managing our time well. You must manage your time like you manage your bank account. It is finite. My goal is to help people manage their time well. And it starts with grabbing a hold of everything that's in here and getting it on the papers in front of you, and that's where the work begins. I am going to be hosting over the next couple of weeks some drop-in leadership little moments, little mentor moments, we're gonna call them, where you can sign up for a 1 hour with me. I'm gonna sit my keister down in a Starbucks or a Panera near you. I'm gonna be there all day, and you can sign up for 1 hour blocks, $50, that's it. Because I believe that it starts with making an investment in ourselves.
Absolutely, thank you, Gina. And she is very good at what she does. So I'm gonna speed this up because my time is coming to an end. So the question is, who's pouring into you and who are you pouring into? POUR is an acronym for providing guidance, observe and reflect, understand the needs and resource development.
It's very important for you to find someone to pour into you, and again, for you to find someone else to pour into. So this last thing I'm going to have you to do, there's a little sheet in your folder, passing the baton. Okay, so I want you to think about what areas that you're knowledgeable in. Is it health, relationships, emotional intelligence, finances, discipline, habits, organizational skills, legacy, character, faith, mental health, endurance? Think about the areas that you do well in. And I want you to write down those 3 nuggets of wisdom. So if you could pass only 3 nuggets of wisdom from your life to someone you care about, what are those 3 nuggets? Go ahead and take about 2 minutes to jot them down. And it might not be on the board, but think about what you're knowledgeable of. Now I want you to share it with your partner. I want you to take about a minute after you've completed it and share with your partner what you wrote down. And if you do not have a partner, find the person that is closest to you and share. Amber, you don't have a partner, right? Okay, you can talk with Angie. You have 1 more minute. Everyone should be talking to their partner. Everyone should be talking to someone. Wendy, if your partner left, you can talk with Wendy. Y'all two can talk until if she doesn't come back and tell us. Yeah. This paper is really important. Take your baton out of your bag. I'm sorry, Mr. Knight. Take your batons out. Everyone should have a baton. Okay, take your plastic off. Everyone should have a baton. On this sheet of paper, I want you to write down one of those nuggets of wisdom, and you're gonna roll it up and put it in your baton. Okay? Just choose one, give me a little bit of information, and then we're gonna roll it up and put it in the baton, okay? That's the last part of my workshop, and then we're going to conclude. Again, you're gonna take one of those nuggets, and you're gonna write one of them on that sheet of paper. Give us a little bit more details so that they understand the message. Ms. Roxy, one of those papers, I just need you to write one nugget of wisdom. You're going to put it in your baton. Oh, that was it. You put it in your baton. Yeah. That's okay. That's all right. Roll it up and put it in here. Again, you're rolling them up and putting them in your batons. Yeah. Put your name. Your number is optional. You might connect with someone that really needed what you said and wants to show you appreciation. Can I get one of you ladies, Tiffany, Christine, Regina, to do one? Because Amber needs a partner, and I want her to have one. If there's a folder, an extra folder that has one in there, I need one more to go into a baton. Is there another one? Is there a piece of paper? Huh? You needed a partner. Everyone has someone they're passing it to except for you. Yeah. Okay, that works. Okay, I love that. Yep. Thanks for helping me think, Amber. Okay, everyone pass your baton to the left, and everyone will have one. To your back. To your back. So you are going to your right. Kelly, you guys are going to the right. Right? Help me make it make sense, because my brain doesn't process very well. Just pass it where you don't have Yours. Just everyone pass it. Is it making sense? You shouldn't have, just remember the color you had, you shouldn't have that color. Did everyone pass it? Okay, who doesn't have one? Let's just switch. Wanda needs one. Who still, she needs one? Okay, everyone has one? Everyone has one? There you go. Everyone's good? So you're gonna take these home and you'll open them when you get home and reflect on that wisdom. So in closing, ladies, as you lead in your homes, as you lead teams or within organizations or your businesses and carry responsibilities that no one else can see, remember this: purpose isn't just something that you find, it's what you finish. And when you leave this workshop, don't just take notes, take the next step, because the most powerful woman in any room is the one who stops waiting for permission and starts moving with purpose. Thank you, ladies. I have a survey which is probably going to take you less than 2 minutes to complete. Can you please just scan that and give us some feedback? And food is served. You can serve yourself. Food is ready.